Well, a little situation update on this truck. We got the back axle all back together. Got the front axle off the ground. Kevin ran it Monday and said we got a little bit better idea between the two of us what's going on. What he did is he said he put chains on the back axle. And he said as soon as he put the chains on the back axle wouldn't spin at all, just the front axle. That's all it would turn. So we got something going on with the inner axle differential. That's what's going on here. I'll show you right now. I released the brakes. I mean, it doesn't even try to turn it. Look at that. Nothing. Something's... Is that in the drum? I hear that noise, or... I mean, it doesn't even try to turn it. It doesn't try at all. It's like it's got the through shaft is broke or stripped out. Yeah, that is not right at all. That is definitely not right. Now, does this style come out the front? I think it does. Okay, well, I'm gonna get the air hose, get the driveline off, pop this inner axle differential out of here. Something's foobar. Alright, had to take the camera in the house because I forgot to charge it last night. Got the yoke off, driveline out of it. One thing I can think of is something through shaft is broken too, or stripped, or something like that going on. Pusher holes or nothing like that on it. Let's see. What the hell's going on there? Wrong size socket or something? That's kind of odd how that one's acts like it's a different size. I actually had the parts in stock for that 5410 John Deere I showed you the video on the other day. When I got it back together yesterday, got it done. Well, that's not good, huh? Broke that one off. That one broke. That's not good. That really is not good. That is not good at all. Never had one of those break off in there like that before. Never had one break off in there like that before on a free drive. It's Kevin's truck. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong on Kevin's truck. Poor guy, poor me. I don't know if it's rusted to get it. Sucks. Well guys, it's a continuation of the T880 with the drive axle issue that we were having. Just got a fire going in the shop here. The stupid pump went out on that thing, so I ordered one. I'm waiting for the pump to show up. So got no waste oil heater right now. But anyway, I'll kind of have to come back, and I can probably go ahead and most of the time on this stove here, you gotta let her go for a while and let it kind of self-contain itself and get some good red embers in there to keep going, you know. If you crack the door like that and kind of let a draft go through, it'll speed up the process. But if you don't pay attention and you don't close it down and you let that go too long like this, you'll burn all your wood up, and then that draft, all your heat will go right out the top instead of coming out here. But so I got to pay attention. Anyway, so I didn't show this when I got it apart, but we finally figured out what's going on. I'm going to take the failed parts over to the bench and I'll show you how this all works and what transpired. I laid all this stuff. I was making a harness for this keypads and trying to do a million things at once as usual. That is the failed part, and I'll go get the gear and I'll show you what happened on this entire debacle. Hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving with their families. And okay, the way this all works, guys, if you're not familiar with a through drive, so normally this is the output shaft. This is going to be where your yoke goes on between your short drive line, between your two differentials. Okay, this is your actual inner axle differential spider assembly here. Okay, so the way this works, guys, is, let me try to piece all this together here and I'll show you. Let me get this out of the way. This is setting in line with your drive line, going from the output side of the transmission, going through the input side. This would be the input side of the your oil pump, which I don't have over here. Let's go get it because I got a new oil pump too. I just want to kind of give you an idea on the stack up and the power flow through the differential. Here's the old oil pump. I got a new oil pump. So just a refresh, if you fast forwarded on the video, because that's what happens. A lot of these guys say I'm boring, so they fast forward and then they make a comment out of context because they didn't watch the preceding minutes of the video to actually have a clue what was actually going on. So they jump forward because they're impatient and they have the attention span of most Americans, which is about as long as their pecker, maybe a centimeter long. And so then they make a comment out of context because they didn't watch the preceding 5 minutes of the video that would have clued them in as to what the hell was going on. So anyways, this is the oil pump. As you can see, it'll spline up right here. This is the input side. Your yoke coming from your drive line will spline onto this part. Your oil pump sets here. This gear is your differential drive gear. This gear is supposed to float on this shaft. And as you can see, what was happening, see this rough area here? Look at the ID of this gear. Look how it's all gulled here. So what was going on, instead of, don't know if this oil pump had started to fail or what, but we're gonna dump all that oil out of there, that gear oil. It's full of oil. Either they ran it low on oil at one time, or that oil pump got weak or something, because what happens, you can see here, it galled this. This shaft comes in, the normal operating, the way it normally operates, this gear will sit on this shaft, it'll float on this shaft. It's not spined, it's not locked to that shaft. But, you can see on this side, it has a side gear, just like a side gear coming out of a differential. As you can see here, okay? So that's gonna come into your spider gears on the inner axle differential. This side gear has got splines here, and it's splined to the output shaft on the through shaft. So in normal operation, going down the road, it splits the torque from corner to corner basically, or whatever the path of least resistance is. That's the way this works. That's the way a differential works. So let's just say on a regular differential, if you're going around a corner and you're taking a left-hand turn, obviously the wheels on the left-hand side of the axle are going to, the geometry is making a shorter arc and not going as far as the right wheels have to turn faster, and the left wheels on a left-hand turn have to turn slower. Vice versa, the same way would be taking a right-hand turn. So you have to have a differential to take up the slack in the system and facilitate the turning, one turning slower and one turning faster, obviously. So that being said, the same applies for an inner axle differential. So what it does, it splits the torque between the path of least resistance between the two axles, if one axle is turning faster or slower than the other. And then you also have an inner axle differential lock, which will sit back here and lock the differential together. And this truck actually has axle lockers on it too, which locks the other differentials together, which locks the axles together. It's almost like a posi lock in a car. So the way it normally works, when that's working properly, the torque is split between the two axles, the two differentials, through the inner axle differential. This gear is usually floating on the shaft, but its teeth are meshed with the spider teeth on the inner axle differential. So this is actually driving this gear, because it's not locked to this shaft, okay? This spines drives the inner axle differential spider assembly, which in turn drives this, which is not splined to the shaft, which turns the input or pinion gear on the front differential. So what was happening here is we had tore the back differential because Kevin thought something was going on with this locker. Well, it wasn't the locker. It was nothing to do with the back axle. It was the front axle all along. This gear had galled itself to the shaft. So it was always engaged and not free-floating on there. So what it was doing, instead of the inner axle differential, which is splined to this shaft, turning this gear, this input shaft basically was locked to the shaft, almost like it was completely splined to it, which it wasn't. It was galled to it, and it was constantly turning the inner axle or the front differential through the drive gear here, which is not supposed to do that. So he put a set of chains on the back axle, and he said the front axle was turning, but the back axle wouldn't turn at all. And that's when I told him, I said, it's in the front differential. It's in your inner axle differential. It's not in your locker on the back. Move this shit out of the way. So let's throw this down. We'll get the new parts now that I've explained to you what is actually happening here. And let's put the new one together. Okay, here's the new oil pump. I'm gonna put a little oil just to get things pre-lubed. I want to pre-lube the part of the shaft where that gear is sliding on as well, and I gotta find that washer. I don't even see that. Should be a washer here, but I don't see it. I'm gonna go find that, but let's get this pump turned around and kind of get her pre-lubed a little bit. which way this actually goes down on there. Well, obviously, how with the spline on the shaft. So I see where the check ball seats up right there. Well, this would have to go like this. Just like that right there, I think. I don't think it would ever spline up going the other way. No, doesn't fit at all going that way, so it has to go like that, which would mean that this goes like this. Yeah, that would be sitting in there and just trying to make sure I'm doing right here. So that would go like that on there. And this is going to be bolted on a certain way. I have to put that together in my brain to see how that goes. Okay, here's the check ball, where the check ball seats right here. You can see that. So that is going to be around this general vicinity. And just like so. And you're going to have these bolts bolting it together. And I must have left the thrust washer laying outside or something. Boy, this old truck here sure has cost Kevin a lot of money. The guys that owned it before just did not take care of it at all. Just completely abused it. I don't know the history or anything on this company that had it before. It probably was started out with good people and owner operator, and then he got bigger and got more trucks and started hiring drivers, and that's where it all went to shit. Hired a bunch of guys who don't really care about the equipment. They just want their paycheck. And the typical response from most Americans, and when you start telling them about how all the equipment's work, well, they're just not paying them enough. Okay. You just can't make it up. You're not paying them enough to care, about somebody else's property. If you give them enough money, they'll have a moral conscience then. Until then, they're just not going to have any morality at all. I gotta torque these. These are roughly 5/16 bolts, so. Okay. All right, let me get a torque wrench. And this new updated style of seal, you got to get the square sleeve off the shaft. They put a different style seal that turns inside of itself on there. It's a way better seal. So you got to get that off. And preferably without destroying the seal right here. Now that ought to slide on there. That's much better. I slid the yoke on there and it didn't go on there the way it was supposed to, and I knew something was wrong and I pulled it back off. Said, that sleeve's got to come off there. I remember now. I got a brand new yoke nut over there for it. Okay guys, so Let's see, what did I do with my little squirt can? I want to pre-lube this up really good. I'm going to pre-lube the ID of the gear up. I want to pre-lube this side. So you notice that this got a groove in it. You want that facing up towards your gear, because that, once it's all together, it'll kind of set stationary here, but your gear will be spinning on the thrust washer, so you want the oil to come into these grooves here to lubricate between the, this will probably be stationary, you know, while the gear's turning on it, so we'll pre-lube it as well. Like so. And then this will go down on it. I might be wrong about that actually, you know, because what I see happening there is that rotating against that. That's what I see happening. Yeah. Okay. So the next step would be the differential. You're gonna put the clutch collar teeth out on it. You gotta get them splined up. All right, something's not quite meshing up right here. Go. Now you'll see the snap ring groove right there. And that's all together correctly. All right. And then this will be the final piece of the puzzle right here. There you are. It's ready to be installed. But we can basically, we can put the through shaft in. We can stack this up on the through shaft once we get it in there. We'll put the through shaft in first. And then this will spline over the through shaft, like so. And then you can slide this all back together. Okay. But there isn't a whole lot to it, really. Okay, I got the through shaft output shaft part of it in there. Let's go. Let's see. Trying to remember what exactly to do here. I might have put the cart before the horse. I don't know. I might have put the cart before the horse. I'm trying to remember how exactly you keep the fork up in it. Hang on. I'm not going to be able to see anything here. There we go. That's how you do it right there. Okay, so I got that in there. Let me turn my little light around there. You can see that. Turn the intensity for the brightness up. No, I didn't. There you go. It's in there just like that. Okay, now I gotta get this broken bolt out of here. It broke off on me. I'm gonna try a pair of vice grips. We'll see what happens. Let's try the stud puller on there. There's enough meat sticking out. I might be able to get a hold of it with this. Oh yeah. Right on, man. Well, the deal was it was rusted into the housing. It wouldn't come out of the housing on it. Had a heck of a time. We got her out of there, okay. We'll clean this up here. Got a scraper here somewhere, but I do not see it now. Okay, let me get a scraper, clean this up. Okay, I got some guide studs in there. They're not quite the right thread, but they're just kind of dummied in there. As long as it'll kind of help me guide it in there a little bit. They're kind of a big old heavy, nasty thing. I got the preload shims on the guide studs. I'm gonna lube this up real good so my O-rings don't get cut. Man, that chicken won't shut the hell up. Barbering sumbitch. Get a little lube on these O-rings here. Oh, I think I have the testicular fortitude to get this accomplished. Okay, so what's up and what's down? And okay, that's the down part right there. Man, I don't look forward to this. I really don't. I'm trying to remember. Hang up here on my knees. Get it in there. Now get the flat spot. There. That's where that goes. Okay, you dumb bastard. Okay, you know, I guess wondering, once that's in the right spot, this piece here will go right there. Okay, I should line everything up. Hang on a second, guys. I want to check something real quick. Can't see shit. Let's try to get it. I think I got that flat spot right. Okay. Now I think we might be doing something now. Those guide studs I got too big for the holes, or what's going on there? I wouldn't think so. Okay. Should be the ticket. Oh, I missed the damn hole. How in the hell did that happen? I missed the whole guide stud on this one. That's because them guide studs aren't quite the right size. So, what I'm gonna do is take it out of there, put it in this hole, and then thread it in there. How do you like that, you dirty bastard? Why the shims stay in place, hopefully. There we go. Okay. A little taparoo with a hammer. Go in pretty tight with the O-rings. You gotta make sure you're not pulling one of them either. They ain't pinching on you. That can happen. They don't leave you much of a taper on there. Okay, I don't know what I did with all the bolts that went in it, but it's kind of weird, huh? Okay, there they are right there. There's where I put them. I've got to find another bolt because that broke one. This thing had this goofy, I don't know what that's all about. It's got this great big washer here on this one here, but I'm trying to think. I think that'll go in like so. This one here, the shield was kind of broke and stuff on it. I'll tell you what, doing one of these without guide studs is, it's a pain in the ass. It is not easy trying to deal with that. Okay. Alright, I gotta get some wrenches and tighten this stuff up. Find another bolt. Hell, huh? Why isn't that fitting? It fit on the other one. Any problem with them. Okay guys, I gotta do the other side. I wanna hit this one again though. Get the air built up and hit it again. Okay guys, I got the front axle jacked up off the ground and the back axle's on the ground. Let's see what it does. See if the interlock kicks in and brakes. Okay, let's flip this in. Inner axle. Trying to take off now. Which that's what it should do. Alright, we got her. Well guys, I'm gonna kick this one out of here. I've got another truck over here I gotta put a spring brake canister in. Thanks for watching.